All right, you guys, today I want to talk about the lease from Enterprise. We're taking a look at this truck, and not this truck specifically, but we're talking about the program that Enterprise offers, okay? This is today's video, Enterprise Lease Review. So here's the thing, I'm obviously not at Enterprise. I am at a parking lot in a hotel. And as you can tell, or as you can't tell yet, but soon, right here, take a look. 29,539.9 miles. We will call this the 30,000 mile Enterprise Lease Review, okay? Now, for the most part, the programs are all the same regardless of what kind of truck you get. And so that's why it's not truck specific. This is lease program specific, but kind of with this type of truck. And what I mean by this type of truck is when we get to the problems of a dually, just remember this when we get down there. First and foremost, I should really stop calling it an Enterprise lease. Okay, that is not what it is. It's an Enterprise long-term rental. Okay, and they are not the only Enterprise that offer it. They are not the only company that offers it. You can get it at Hertz. You can get it a bunch of places. However, when I was looking into this is one of the ones that's more specifically made for what we do as transporters, as haulers, or whatever the case may be. So the Enterprise long-term rental works like this: $3,700 deposit. Now, this is a refundable deposit as long as the card that you have on file doesn't get declined. Then it gets withdrawn from that $3,700 back, and you don't get that money back. You do not need a credit check. They don't check your credit. You just need $3,700 and commercial insurance. Now, there's only one way to get commercial insurance. That's open a DOT number, MC number, and have a company. Or lease on with someone and add that truck to their company and drive for them. That's the two ways you can get commercial insurance. So $3,700, 22 cents a mile, that's what you're paying. So if I'm almost at 30,000 miles, let me grab my phone real fast. 30,000 miles almost. Times 22 cents. So this truck has already cost me essentially $6,600. Now, if I were to buy a new truck to put 30,000 miles on it, how much would it have depreciated? I don't know. First of all, it took me, I think, 2 to 3 months. So that means I'd have to make 3 months worth of payments. That's already $3,000. And then, depending on your depreciation and whatever you put as a down payment, I don't know, kind of a toss up. I still think lease is better, or long-term rental. Goodness. Okay, so that's what it is. $3,700, 22 cents a mile. Now, what are the downsides of this long-term rental? Right? It's great that you can try it out and turn it back in. It's great that you can walk away in case the business starts to suck. It's great that you can do those things. But there's obviously pros, there's obviously cons. And I think one of the biggest cons with Enterprise long-term truck rental is the maintenance. Okay? Now, for me specifically, it's really difficult to do maintenance during the week. I'm usually, like I am, today's Sunday, I'm usually on the weekend trying to get my truck serviced. Just like earlier, I was trying to get new tires for my trailer, this trailer right here. I was trying to get tires for it, didn't work out very well. So, if you're not doing your maintenances on the weekend, you won't have a single issue. Because what happens is, I had a blowout, I needed a new tire. I realized everyone's closed on the weekend, so I had no choice but to put on my spare and drive around with a flat tire until I was through the weekend. Because they don't approve tires on the weekend. They only approve tires during the week. And so the next time I had to go in for a service oil change was when I could get a new tire. And I had to plan that around during the week, not on the weekend. Granted, I did have to pay for the blowout, but at the end of the day, God forbid I get another blowout when I had that flat one with me, what would I do then? I don't know. See, sometimes it's not fun. But let's talk about this dually. Why does a dually suck? It's maintenance, you guys. That's all it is. It's just maintenance. The maintenance part is just that's the problematic portion of the Enterprise long-term rental. This side of the tire is wearing much more than this side. Not to mention, it's kind of choppy. Some of these are higher and lower. So this is more worn than this, and it's choppy. And you have no idea how many times I've asked these shops hey guys, can you put those tires back there and put one of those up there or something like that? And their response consistently is, one, we don't have the lift to do it. Two, Enterprise only pays us for a regular rotation, so you'd have to pay out of pocket for the difference. Right there is the issue. If this was my truck, I would have spent way more money on it. I would have probably balanced and rotated my tires already like 3 or 4 times. I would have already done at least 1 or 2 alignments, because when you're an owner-operator and you own your own truck, you want your things to last longer, so you pay a little more for maintenance. But I've had this truck for 30,000 miles. Tires haven't been rotated once. Not once. Alignment hasn't been done. Not once. And I'm pulling always weight. You guys see the tires, they're wearing kind of bad. Like, who am I to tell these people, hey, do the job, I'm not paying for it? They're gonna be like, no, then we just won't do the job. Not to mention, they can't even pick this truck up on their lifts. And that's the biggest issue. A dually is hard to find a lift to pick up. When the time comes to do an oil change, it's kind of a headache, to be honest, because I have to call ahead. One, hey, can you guys squeeze me in? I need an oil change. What kind of truck you got? It's a dually. How heavy? I don't know, like 8,000 to 9,000 pounds. We can't pick it up. And so that's one of the biggest downfalls of the long-term rental program. You're stuck with their maintenance people, and sometimes they're not very good. And I try to take it to Firestone and Goodyear, who they have the contract with, and it's just their unwillingness to not do work on the truck. That's all it is. And the other issue is, like, for example, air filter. I do an air filter every time I do an oil change. And with the long-term rental, it's like, well, I'm paying for fuel. And when the air filter is dirty, my MPG goes down. So it's like, hey, shouldn't I be asking them, did you guys check the air filter? How's the air filter look? Because at the end of the day, I'm indirectly paying if Enterprise doesn't want to give me an air filter. And guys, this is, by the way, this is only me. Like, I only do this many miles. I consistently average like 3,000, 3,500 miles a week. You know what I mean? I go hard. I'm not like sitting around on this thing barely scraping 5,000 miles. And Faye tells me that all the time. She says, hey, Alex, you're like the hardest runner we got. Yes, I am. But all jokes aside, it's only because I run so hard that I'm experiencing these issues. If I wasn't running this hard, I would have much less issues, because then you could plan your oil changes a little bit better. You know, I essentially do an oil change almost every 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, because that's, 8,000 miles. If you run hard, is it worth it? To be honest, I'd rather put up with the headache of finding a good maintenance place, like once every 2.5, 3 weeks, instead of taking all that depreciation. Instead of being stuck with a truck that's worthless after 150, 200,000 miles. If you run hard, I think the Enterprise long-term rental is a good deal. If you don't run hard at all, bro, it's a really good deal. And so that'll do it for the 30,000 mile long-term rental Enterprise review. Quick little side note, I mentioned this damage in an older video. When the time comes to do a 60,000 mile review and when the time comes to turn it in, I will let you guys know my final thoughts, because right now we're at the halfway point, right? 30,000 miles, and this is just to get you up to speed, like what you can expect on the halfway point, or what you can expect in general from the Enterprise long-term rental. But I will be very, very curious to see how aggressive they are with like the, with the damage, with the scratches, with like little things here and there. Like, I will be very, very curious to see how they treat me then. How many problems will I have when that time comes? So that's going to be the interesting part. There's absolutely a good chance I'm going to be real sour after it. There's absolutely that chance. Now, I hope that's not the case. I hope everything works out. I hope I remain optimistic and happy as I am now when that time comes. But in reality, who knows? So stay tuned. Let me know in the comments below, what do you guys want me to talk about on this Enterprise long-term rental? What do you guys want to see? What do you guys want to know? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. I'll be doing the next update at 60,000 miles when the time comes to turn this truck in. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video about the Enterprise long-term rental update. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.